American dream still exists?
You know what? The American dream worked for me, but I'm not sure if it's going to work for my kids and my grandchildren. And that's disturbing to me.
There is no magical safety net that should be there according to the American dream being sold.
I'm not sure I believe the American dream ever really existed.
Sexist? What's that word?
Exists.
Exists?
Yes.
No longer.
And why is that?
We're being victimized by the government more than ever before, in my opinion. I'm 95 years old.
No, it's over. Like I said, it's over. It's finished.
Yes, it does. It does exist.
Part of me wants to say, I'm not sure anymore.
It's just unattainable.
Do you think the American dream still exists?
I think it still does. I'm fortunate enough to have achieved a version of the American dream, like having a house, but dual income, no kids, being a dink helps.
I think that things are structured to give the illusion that anyone can accomplish everything that they set their heart out to, but it's just not the truth.
I know far too many straight white dudes that are super broke and have hella roommates. That's for this to be working in anybody's favor.
I did everything right. I followed all the rules. I did everything the way I was told. And still ended up on the streets.
Do you think the American dream still exists or not?
Not really. I think that there's an idea of it, but I kind of don't believe that it's achievable anymore, just with rent prices and food prices and everything being taxed up the ass. It's really unfortunate. So not really.
Still, is it possible? Yeah, I think it's possible, but it's definitely a lot harder with tuition hikes and all that. Everything changed a lot too. A lot of things went digital, a lot of new different kinds of jobs.
Do you think the American dream still exists or not?
Nope. Not till you get rid of the President Trump, and you're gonna have better president, not Biden, not Democrats, not, a man who really want to lead the country.
I just don't think that the American dream can really be a thing when it's not equitable for everybody.
I think the American dream lives inside of you. So, it's really the dream. American, Australian, whatever it is, but it's really inside of you.
I think it still exists. Today's kids are just too lazy to look for it, in all honesty. They're so used to everybody either giving it to them or giving in to them.
I think the American dream changed a lot from what it used to be. Now it's a different thing. We don't want just a richness for ourselves, but richness for our generations to come after us and everything. And we don't want big mansions. We just want a lot of property. And we want to be able to grow our own stuff. That's pretty much it. Yeah. If you ask me today, part of me wants to say, I'm not sure anymore. But the other part that remains hopeful, I would say absolutely yes. Yes, it's all about your choices and where you want to go in life and what you want to do with your life. So yes, absolutely.
I mean, everybody wants the house, the car, but it's like, what do we got to do to get that? We're supposed to go to college. We're supposed to go get a job. You get in debt. You can't get out of debt. Even doctors are in debt for decades before they're right side up in an American dream. And then you work and break your back for a pension that gives you nothing.
Unfortunately, a lot of people who've experienced it are being selfish with it right now, and has made it so that it's way more difficult for it to be as feasible.
It just depends what you have access to. For some people, business is a lot easier because they have access to certain things that make business and making money possible. And for other people, they don't have access to those same things. So it really depends. And I think for a lot of people that used to have access, like demographics, it does not exist for a lot of those people either anymore because, big businesses have taken over everything, so.
He's putting big hat, saying we're gonna make America great, and then he goes like this, man, jokingly, I mean, what kind of joke was that?
It's just very unfair to say that the dream was ever alive, because for most people it wasn't.
It ended the moment social media entered into the public sphere. and people began to share ideas with each other that they couldn't before. That was the beginning of what we call Chrono Sapiens.
Yes, it does. It does exist. You just gotta have a lot of faith, and you'll get to it. It takes hard. It's a little bit hard, but you'll get there. You'll get there.
And where are you from?
I'm actually from Mexico. I was born in Mexico. It's Sinaloa.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
And this is your car?
Yes, ma'am. This is my car. It's a 1998 Lincoln Town Car. Kind of fixed it up for my son, actually.
It's very, very cool.
Since the 80s, since Thatcher and Reagan, we'd sort of peaked in terms of being the sort of civil society, and we're kind of regressing back to feudalism. That doesn't sound too extreme. And I think, so over the last 40 years, I think we're going back that way, and you can see that with the gig economy, and the declining workers' rights, the obscene wealth of the few.
It's just a fantasy. It's a false advertisement, basically. That's all.
Things are just getting too divisive now, and as I say, I think most of us are just becoming serfs, and I think if we're a serf, there's no such thing as the American dream.
But no, okay, forget Trump, forget all that, that's petty, I'm not Robert De Niro who's gonna talk shit about Donald Trump. I don't care about those politicians. But we need a new president, somebody young, somebody with positive ideas, for young people, for generations. You guys you're the future, you know what I mean?
Even though I can't buy a home, any of those kind of things, I still believe that the quality of life that I get to live wouldn't have been capable if I was still in like the same little rancho that my parents came from. So I do feel that the American dream does really exist.
I guess it's not a yes or no, but more like there's still hope that it's here.
I do think it is important to also acknowledge that we have more opportunity here than in other places, and we can kind of use that opportunity to help other people as much as we can, or at least raise awareness of that.
You don't want to mess with me. I'm here to do good for our people and to bring people back into that sphere of realizing the American dream again. But that American dream is one of a North American Union.
Always work hard, never give up. That's the real American dream. So, wherever you come from, as long as you put your mind and everything you want, you'll get it. But it's here, it's up to you.
Oh yeah, the American dreams is alive and well. It's a state of mind, it's personal, it's whatever you want it to be. Very much alive.
Do you believe the American dream still exists or not?
I don't believe it does. I think it's been propaganda for quite a long time, and it's definitely changed, and people are still believing it.
If the people that the system is designed for can't make any money, what is the chance for a queer person, for women, for black people, for someone who's all of them at the same time?
We need to stop and look at reality and what's happening to Americans. I work with the homeless a lot, and with the marginalized, with the single moms that are terrified of becoming homeless. It's a very frightening time right now. Thank you for asking.
We're one country. If China, Russia gonna attack us, we're gonna be all in trouble, you know what I'm saying? We should be together, not divided, It doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's an idea and people want to pursue it, but I don't think it exists. My parents got their house for under $100,000, when they got married, and now that's unheard of. You need $1 million in California to get a home. So we're just surviving.
And where are you from?
I'm from Jellicoe, Tennessee.
I'm from Otay, California.
I'm from New York.
I'm from Philadelphia.
We're from San Diego.
I was actually born in Florida, but I was raised in Alabama.
I'm from Inglewood, California.
California, right in the Inland Empire.
I'm everywhere.
I grew up in Montana.
From small town Illinois.
Originally North Carolina.
From San Diego.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I'm from Riverside, California.
I'm from the Bay Area, so San Jose.
UK, Brighton on the south coast. I was born in Soviet Union, in Latvia.
I'm from Los Angeles.
I was born in Idaho in this life.
So do you think the American dream still exists?
I do, but in minimal fashion. It's not as available. Our immigration policies are abhorrent, and yet we're a nation of immigrants, the vast majority of us. I lived overseas a good portion of my life, certainly my growing up years, and I believe that other people had a better version of what we were and could be than we do.
For my ancestors, I am the American dream, you know, because my ancestors were here in bondage, you know, so they dreamed about being able to be free physically and to be able to create and manifest their reality.
It definitely exists, the American dream. I mean, it's not very attainable for a lot of people, but I mean, it still kind of is. Because if you kind of define it as home ownership, right, the achievement of home ownership, it can still be done. It's just a lot more difficult now. So I'm fortunate enough to have achieved a version of the American dream, like having a house, but dual income, no kids, being a dink helps. Or being a dildo, dual income large dog owners. Some friends of ours, they have a house too. But I mean, that's kind of, yeah, I guess that's sort of the American dream to me is home ownership, and I'm lucky to have achieved it.
So do you feel like the American dream still exists?
I believe so, yeah.
And why is that?
Because in America, it's all about how you make it. You know, you can go to sleep broke and wake up rich, all about how you want to present and promote yourself.
But I think for a lot of people though, it's so much harder now because housing costs are so expensive, finding a good job is so expensive, just cost of living is so expensive. It's just a lot more difficult. So, but it's still there.
I think it's everywhere pretty much the same. You get a loan and you buy your house. I mean, that's the American dream if it's that about.
I think they let a few folks through to create that illusion, but for the most part, us as African Americans here in this country, it's not a reality for us.
It's like an unrealistic goal that's imposed on everyone to keep us within the confines of like the economic system and just the government and everything that they have in place, you know?
You see, we have full control even over Trump. Even though he doesn't want to admit it, his actions regarding Panama, Canada, and all these other nations in the North American sphere, these are our commands. We're creating a North American Union so that we can create security on Earth and free the human race from war against each other.
Yes, I think it still exists. I don't think it's as prevalent or as possible as it used to be. But I think it's still there.
It's hard for me to answer, but subjectively, yes, I do believe it still exists.
The American dream in California, I don't believe exists anymore. You know, there's like it's not even a fine line, it's a pretty solid line between rich and poor. There's no more middle class. Like, it's a struggle to make it in California. So like the American dream is definitely, it's just to survive, you know, week to week.
I think it's here for certain people who have that benefit already, like from generations, you know?
It's very hard for a young person to do unless they have a dream job from their father or grandfather. But if they just go out into the job market, they're not going to make the kind of money that it takes to buy a house.
I mean, I've seen it. I don't know. It depends what your dream is.
My name is Adrian, aka King Adrian. I believe the American dream is a bit oversaturated. I feel like a lot of individuals come here expecting something that isn't really here anymore, especially nowadays political climate. It's very hard for individuals to really come here and live the dream out. But I agree with Sam in certain ways, depending on your demographic, where you're from, how you look. I think that definitely helps you in certain cities and, you know, your career.
I actually believe or think that the American dream doesn't necessarily need to exist, in that I think that dreams are a universal experience, and that refining it to just an American dream would be too small or short-sighted in what I think we all want at the end of the day.
You know, you see different types of people from very different backgrounds working hard just because that initial thought when they leave home is to chase after their American dreams, you know. Yeah, so yeah, I would say it still exists.
Do you feel like it still exists or not?
Not the way it was created necessarily. I think it was created in a very like white Eurocentric vision for what everybody else should be doing. But I think the dream could be altered, but just not to that original plan.
I don't think it ever existed to begin with. I think it's an imperial idea produced to us to encourage us to reproduce the cycle of capitalism, and it never was meant to benefit any marginalized communities to begin with.
I feel like right now it doesn't exist and our rights are getting taken away, and there's a lot of us screaming for help, and it's honestly the poor against the rich. It doesn't matter if you're blue or red. Now it's like it's us against them.
I think at one point it was real, and when folks who aren't supposed to achieve the dream kept achieving it and excelling their white counterparts, that's when it shifted. And then with the inclusion of technology and having to adapt constantly, I don't know what the dream is.
The American dream was kind of built around white people moving to the suburbs, moving their kids to private schools, and they get to live in the big 2-story house with the white picket fence while everybody in the cities suffered as a result of this.
I believe the American dream is not only for one certain culture or people or skin color. I believe the American dream belongs to the whole world.
What are your views on the American dream? Do you feel like it still exists or not?
That is a loaded question. So my family and I are immigrants from Thailand. We immigrated here in '79, and my parents are living the American dream. They got the house, not the white picket fence, but all their kids went to have a college education, myself included. They are one of the ones that kind of made the opportunity for myself and my sisters. So they're definitely living the American dream.
The idea of working hard and then living comfortably is still kind of what people aspire to, but we're all kind of beaten down and just so tired because everything is more expensive, people are getting paid less, and it's really hard to dig yourself kind of just out of this hole of constantly working and not really being able to enjoy yourselves.
It's a method of control, to be honest. I think if we keep buying into this dream, we don't wake up as a culture, as a people, and collectively put pressure on our government to make impactful change.
For myself and my sisters, it's a little bit more difficult at this time. But I'm always of the mindset where you create your own opportunities. That's how I was raised. So it almost doesn't matter what type of environment you're in, because we still have the opportunities to create our own way here.
I think it's still there, but I think most people think that it's not really possible to achieve anymore.
It might be more difficult now, but we still have the opportunities to still create our own way. So like for myself, for instance, I run my own business and still creating my own opportunities, and then also creating, I guess, the American dream.
You're from Thailand or you was born here?
I was born in Thailand,
oh, nice.
And I'm actually an immigrant, but American citizen. Right. For you out there, Ice, still an American citizen.
The American dream is digging yourself out of a hole, but for foreigners, it's kind of easy because you guys get a loan, you guys get grants and like all type of different things. So for outsiders looking in, the American dream still exists. That's why you have Little Tokyo, Little Armenia, Little Italy, Koreatown, Chinatown. But where's Little Africa?
I think as an immigrant, it's very different what you hear when you don't live in the States, and then when you move to the States, it shifts and it's not what you expected.
They call us hustlers or people that pushers, but we're struggling, we're dying. Not only not dying about hunger, but physically and mentally.
It's less pretty than just calling it the American dream. It's definitely a lot of sacrifice. It's definitely a lot of like hard work, and people don't portray it like that when you're outside the States.
From the outsiders looking in, they really get love, but for people of our color, really no love. And if you seen the Super Bowl last night, Kendrick explained that.
They not trying to put no black man there. They'll give a black woman an opportunity, but anything that's gonna threaten what they believe to threaten their race, they're not gonna promote. So there's a whole bunch to unpack. I believe that we all know what it is.
What I thought was the American dream doesn't exist or doesn't feel like it does. But I don't think the story is over. And I think right now, I think the bad guys are winning, but I don't think it's gonna last. And I think if we all stick together and make sure our voices are heard.
Can't really move anywhere because everything just got so expensive, kind of case in point. I feel like I've done everything right, got a good job, good career, but can't really afford anything. Maybe 20 years ago, I would have a nice house, but these days, not so much.
There's nothing left to get because they bought up all the land already. There's nothing left for us. I don't know.
People are being so selfish that they just want to collect and collect. No one else can really achieve it the same way that I think it used to be.
It is attainable. It still exists in people's mind, but it's becoming more a fantasy than a dream for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Current political climate and stuff like that just makes it hard to believe that we are the best place, that people want to be here and that this is where they think that the dream is, the best dream is.
We want a multiracial, we want genders, whatever people feel comfortable with. We want real, authentic people leading this country that have values and morals. The American dream is that everybody is included.
Do you think the American dream still exists or not?
Yeah, we all have dreams. We all can accomplish them. It's all up to you. It's all up to your hands. If you want to accomplish something, you can become somebody, but if you don't, then it's all up to you.
Yes, the American dream still exists. I'm here in America, doing my best to fulfill my dreams.
I think you can still have your American dream right here in America. You just got to change your value systems and what's important to you.
I do believe in the power of having a goal or a dream and working to get it one way or the other.
Find your own dream. You got to find your own dream in America. You can be and do whatever you want. Don't ever let nobody tell you you can't be a roller skater. Don't ever let nobody can't tell you that you can't be a journalist, right? And do your thing and help society.
The dream should be how we come together as a people versus achieving a house, family, a certain tax bracket. It should be fighting for the others versus your individual needs. And I think the dream is why so many other countries look at Americans as just backwards. Because we don't focus on a collective. It's very individualized and what I want and what my needs are versus how can my needs affect the needs of others, because we are both trying to make it. And so, yeah, I think we need to move past the dream. I think we need a new, I don't know, what is it, a slogan? So something new, something needs to change.
And where are you from originally?
From the U.S., from South Dakota.
I'm originally from Louisiana.
Originally from Memphis, Tennessee.
I'm from the Bay Area, Oakland.
I'm from Washington, Seattle, Washington.
I'm a United States citizen. I born here in LA. I'm an Angelino, 100%.
But I spent time in the Middle East and in the Arab countries primarily, but also in Kenya.
I'm from San Fernando, which is a little area in the San Fernando Valley, LA. My parents are from Guadalajara, Mexico.
I'm from the Bay Area, Vallejo originally.
I'm from up and down California and Oregon and Washington State.
I brought another country, but I traveled the world.
Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I pretty much grew up in San Diego. My family has a Caribbean background.
Originally from Colorado.
I was born in Louisiana.
I'm from Taiwan, originally.
I'm from Oceanside, California, San Diego, North County.
I was born from a Native American mother and a father who, in all reality, was a descendant of Christ's bloodline.
Born in San Francisco, raised in San Diego.
I'm originally from the Chicago area, but my family is from Haiti. My name is Lionel Jean Baptiste, Jr.
My parents are from Mexico, though, but I was born here.
You was born in Los Angeles?
Yeah, Los Angeles, yep.
Los Angeles originally.
San Diego, California.
Connecticut.
Originally from the Bay Area.
And I am here in Leimert Park. I do a lot of business here selling my desserts. I am in the process of rebranding from Rose Gold Pastries to Ree and Rose.
And where are you from originally?
Chicago. Whenever they want to say things are bad, they always say Chicago. We just have a bad accent. We don't have, it's nothing else than that.
I love the Chicago accent, by the way.